Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Invest. Today I want to talk to you about a topic that I hold dear to my heart, and that is about Vietnam and cryptocurrencies. So, as you may not know, I am Vietnamese. I was born and raised in Vietnam. I currently live in California at the moment, and I have been in California for quite a while now. And I am a big fan of cryptocurrencies. So, let me give you my perspective on what is happening. But before I move forward, I do want to say that this is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice. So with that, let's get into it. So before we get into this particular topic, let me tell you a story about Vietnam and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has been in Vietnam for quite a while now. It's been a few years. First Bitcoin get into Vietnam, at the early days in 2011, 2012. But it wasn't until Bitcoin hit 1,000 US dollar that it get a lot of media attention within Vietnam. And this is before Mt. Gox, right? So people started to talk about Bitcoin. People was being educated about what it is. People started to speculate on Bitcoin. And then after that, Mt. Gox happened. So Mt. Gox went down. Bitcoin price went from 1,000 to 200. So the interest is kind of died down in Vietnam for a while. Until recently, starting in 2016, when Bitcoin started to rally again, and all the way until now, when Bitcoin is over 6,000 US dollar. Now, throughout this whole time, the state media and the Vietnam government, they only issue warning about cryptocurrencies from the investor protection standpoint. So meaning that they warn people about the risk of investing in cryptocurrencies, in this case, Bitcoin. And they try to protect their consumers and their citizens from scam, essentially. Because at the time there was a lot of scammer that going around Vietnam, try to introduce different kind of cryptocurrencies that doesn't have a lot of legitimacy. So until recently, back in August 25th, 2017, so I would say about 2 months ago, finally the Vietnam government decided to put together a framework to recognize Bitcoin. So they have really up to this point, Vietnam government have not say that they accept Bitcoin or they against Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall. So it's not legal, but it's not illegal. So it's kind of like in a gray area where people can do their own things. As long as you're not scamming people, they haven't done anything to you yet. And on August 2017, they wanted to put a framework together. So they want their different department. So they want their central bank, they want their Ministry of Finance and Public Safety to get together and put together some regulations surrounding Bitcoin. Because I do want to recognize Bitcoin, but they're not sure what Bitcoin will be yet. So this was a really positive news for a lot of people. People realize this as the fact that Vietnam is moving forward in adopting Bitcoin. By the way, I will leave the links to all the articles I show you here in the description below. So go ahead and check that out. So moving forward, 3 days ago, there was some shocking news coming out from Vietnam, and I know this article is in Vietnamese, so I leave the link in the description below. If you want to read this in English, using Google Translate, you can click on the Google Translate button here, and then you can translate it to whatever language you need to in order to read this. So basically, FPT is a university in Vietnam, and 3 days ago they announced that they will allow students to pay for their tuition in Bitcoin. And the reason being is that it's really hard to move money in and out of the country, especially in a country like Vietnam. So a lot of international students having a hard time, getting money into the country to pay for their tuition. So to make it easy, Bitcoin is a logical solution at the moment. So the school decided to accept Bitcoin, and this raises a lot of questions, because what this saying is that the school is accepting Bitcoin as a legal payment for tuition. So this raises a lot of questions regarding to the legality of whether or not Bitcoin is a legal payment settlement. So turned out that the government was a lot quicker. So just recently, as early as yesterday, they come out with some announcement. They saying that starting 2018, and this is the announcement, is that if you are accepting Bitcoin as a legal tender or a legal payment method, beside, basically they saying that, Vietnam will only recognize the Vietnamese dong, which is the currencies, the national currencies. You cannot accept Bitcoin as a legal payment for anything else. And if you do, starting 2018, you are going to pay a 200 million Vietnamese dong in fine. And 200 million Vietnamese dong is about I would say 9,500 USD. So quite a steep punishment. And you may, depend on the severity, you may face criminal charges as well. So that is what come out from the government. So let me move on a little bit. And then earlier today, the Cointelegraph published an article saying that Vietnamese central bank bans cryptocurrencies, and then it went on, give about 3 paragraphs about what is happening. So basically, based on the new monetary law issued by the bank that is scheduled to go in effect during the first quarter of 2018, Bitcoin and other virtual currencies are already considered as illegal, and their use will be prohibited in the country. The law also states that the only authorized payment methods in the country are those issued or controlled by the State Bank of Vietnam. So this article used the word illegal multiple times, and also they saying that Vietnamese central bank bans cryptocurrencies. It's highly misleading because what the bank is saying, in my opinion, and based on the article that I have read, is that the bank is basically saying that the issuance, supply, and use of Bitcoin and other similar virtual currencies are the means of payment. So this is the important word here, as a mean of payment. So they're not saying that cryptocurrencies are illegal. They're saying that cryptocurrencies, if you want to accept it as a mean of payment, that is not allowed in Vietnam. So meaning that you can mine cryptocurrencies, you can have cryptocurrencies, you can send cryptocurrencies, but as a business, you cannot accept, say, Bitcoin as a form of payment on your platform or in your business establishment. That's what it is saying. So they're not banning cryptocurrency. They just limit the use of cryptocurrencies almost as a commodity, not as a method of payment. So I would like to point out that this is similar to what is happening here in the United States. US does not recognize Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as legal tender or currencies. But the difference is in US, some state does allow businesses to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. Other states may not be. So that is the main difference. However, in the United States, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are not treated as same as currency. So I like to point that out. Now I wanna talk to you about this is a Vietnamese blog about virtual currencies, and this is an opinion piece, but I think this is really good. And unfortunately, it is in Vietnamese, but I can go ahead and provide you with a summary of what it's saying here. So the blog basically saying that what happened in Vietnam is the same as USD, United States dollars, and gold. So in Vietnam, you cannot use the US dollar or any foreign currencies or gold as a form of payment. You cannot use it to buy anything. You cannot accept it as a form of payment if you own a business. And Bitcoin is in the same category as foreign currencies and gold. Also, the similarity is that's similar to foreign currencies like the USD and gold. You can store USD, you can trade USD, you can store gold, you can trade gold for a profit. Same thing here, you can store Bitcoin for a profit. You can mine Bitcoin, and you can trade Bitcoin. So there's no regulation against that. So in essence, the main point here is that they have, in my opinion, and my opinion only, is that this thing moved a lot quicker than the Vietnamese government intended. And the fact that businesses started to accept Bitcoin is an issue for tax revenue. So they want to, in my opinion, they want to stop that for now, and until they have a good framework. Because the framework, if you look back at the original article here, the framework won't be in effect until 2019. So they have about a year and a half before they have a framework together. So if they allow Bitcoin as a form of payment in the countries, they don't have any way to control that. They don't have any way to tax it. So this is what this is about. I don't think this is about Vietnam hating cryptocurrencies. It's really about Vietnam trying to find a way to manage cryptocurrencies better. And cryptocurrencies have been a really hot topic in the Vietnamese community because, one of the main reasons why, because moving money in and out of the country is very hard. It's really hard to move money in the country in large quantity, and it's really hard to move money out of the countries. So you only allow per person to leave the country with $5,000 maximum per person. This is an expat.com. So this is where a lot of expatriates or expat post questions about how to deal with certain issue when they're in a foreign country. And in this particular thread is about sending money out of Vietnam. And you can see, this thread go on and on and on. And then, people discussing way and potential issue with sending money out of Vietnam. And it's not that easy. So Bitcoin is a very effective way to send money in and out of the country without getting permission from the government. And that is also another big issue that the government currently have. They certainly don't want money to be flown out of Vietnam. At the end of the day, Vietnam is still a socialist nation. So I hope this information helped you understand the situation a little better. And if you are unclear of certain things, please leave your comment in the section below, and I will certainly get back to you. And if you find this information helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.